Okay, here we go. This is Fusion Assignment 4, and here we are at the class web page. And if I scroll down to the bottom here, you'll find what will be a live link to the assignment. And in this assignment, we're going to make a spacer for a swivel caster. So let's have a look at that. This is the swivel caster. We have this caster in the shop, and we're going to make a spacer, so if I were to bolt the caster up to underneath a bench or something like that, a spacer would fit perfect to this plate, this mounting plate on the swivel caster. So, where do we begin? Oh, and the interesting part of this is you could try and measure all of this. Yes, you could measure this rectangle. That's not too bad. The placement of these is a little harder. They're not actually symmetrical. And so you're going to find out the way we do this. It's pretty cool. So we're going to use a picture that I've taken of this picture that you're looking at right here. We're going to use this as a reference to draw the spacer that we need. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to jump into Fusion. And there is the spacer I've already drawn. It's a 1/4 inch spacer. You can make it any thickness you want, but this one's a 1/4 inch. And that is what we're going to try and do. So I'm going to start a new file, new design. And the first thing I do out of the gate, and you should too, is save and give it a title and save it to a location that you should have running already for the other assignments you've done. So this one's going to be Swivel Caster Spacer Tutorial for me, and I'll hit save. Okay, as you know, it changes the title up here, it changes the title on your browser tree, and we're ready to rock. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to need to go back to the website for a moment, because you're going to need, right here, when you follow this link, it will take you to this page, and this is the tutorial. There we go. Steps, we're on tutorial 1 here. This will be live. You've already clicked on it because you're watching this. You're going to need this image file. This is the picture of the caster that we're going to work with. So if you click this, it'll open it. And, oh, there it is. And then you want to right click and you want to save your image. So save your image to your project folder. So on my situation here, let's see, where should I put it? I'm just going to put it in my documents for now. I'm going to call it drafting 10. I'm going to make a new folder by right clicking, and the new folder I'll call Swivel Caster. There we go. And I'll open that up and I'll save it in there. It's called Caster Plate. I don't need the one. I mean, I was making a copy of it, so we'll get rid of that. There. Swivel Caster Plate, save. Okay, so I've got it, so I can close out of that and jump back to Fusion. So I got my image file. Oh, and by the way, while I'm here, I'll show you that this caster reference pics takes you to the PDF of what I was showing you earlier, and we're going to be referencing this because we're going to get a couple measurements which I've already taken of the caster off of here. So we'll get back to this in a second. Okay, back to Fusion. Now, where do we begin? Strangely enough, we don't begin by starting a sketch this time. We are going to start by inserting a canvas. If you hover over these, they give you a bit of information as to what they do. This one says it places an image on a planar face or a sketch plane. So this is what we want to be doing. So we're going to insert this canvas. So click that. Then it says, where would you like to get the image that you're going to use from? I'm going to insert it from my computer down here. And then I'm going to head to where I put it, which was under Documents, and what did I call it? It was under Documents, Drafting 10, and Swivel Caster. And there it is. So we grab that and push Open. Now, it says, after you've got it, where would you like to put it? That's this face thing. We'll pick the top plane here, the one that aligns with the top of the cube, the view cube. Click on that. And now, it's allowing me to move it around, but it doesn't look very good right now. I'm going to actually click the top of the view cube. So when I click top, I am looking down on this from the top and I am oriented correctly. So I'm going to zoom by scrolling so I can zoom in a bit and see what I've got. Well, that's what we've got. Now, the next thing is you can move this around. You can move these arrows and reposition it if you need to. We don't need to. We're just going to leave it the way it is. You could also rotate it, which I think we will need to do because you'll see in a second. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to leave it at 0 for now, but you'll see in a second it's not perfectly square. When I took the photo, my camera wasn't lined up perfectly square, which is understandable. So we'll push OK on this for the moment. Okay, so I've got this thing now in Fusion, and what am I going to do with it? Well, the first thing I'm going to do with it is I'm going to try and make it the right size, because what size is it? We have no idea right now. So it's a picture I took and I just brought it in, and it could be any size, but I need it to be the correct size. So I need to get some reference. So this is where we go back to this reference document, and the one I chose to use, I have a vertical measurement on this, and I also have a horizontal or a width measurement. I chose the vertical measurement to use as my reference, and I zoomed in on my scale that I had lined up perfectly with one edge, and I zoomed in, and there we go. I read off this scale. There's the 4-inch mark, and then these are 16ths. So if I count those up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to call it 6/16, which is the same as 3/8. So this is 4 3/8, the height of that plate. So now I'm going to head back to Fusion, and I'm going to open the canvas, or explode, or expand, I should say, this canvas tab here. And right there, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go calibrate. And then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to pick the edge right here, right there, and click, and then I'm going to zoom down. I also picked the center of that hole. Notice that it was the edge lined up with the center of the hole. That's the middle of the plate. And then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to pick that right there, and guess what I can put in? I can put in the measurement, which was, I'll zoom out again, there we go, 4 3/8, 4 space 3/8, enter. And whoa, it got really big, because now that distance between those points I picked is 4 3/8, and everything else has been scaled accordingly. So the size, didn't matter what size it was when I brought the photo in, the size of the image I'm looking at right now is true to life. That's pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll a little bit, and notice the top of the screen here as reference. My picture is a little rotated. When I had my camera there, I was holding it, it was a little rotated. So I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to head over here to my caster plate image again, and right click and go edit the canvas. And then I can use this grab handle to straighten it up. And 5 degrees, 0 degrees, 5 degrees is too much. I found actually about 0.5 degrees seemed to straighten it up pretty good. It's not bad. It's close. I could go like 0.51, see if that works. I don't know, did that make a difference? 0.52? I don't know. Let's try that. Anyway, so I think that's pretty square, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to get close, so we'll move on to the next step. So the next step is going to be involved tracing this image or drawing on it, and that will be in tutorial 2. All we were trying to do in tutorial 1 was import an image file and then calibrate the image, that's what they call it, so that it is the size that we want it to be. It is now that. Okay, see you in tutorial 2.